can have a word with Abhishek Sharma. What is name?
Hello guys, welcome guys, welcome to the fantastic, fabulous and fantabulous session by Vedantu 9th English. This is Pritesh, your host, your dose and a proud master teacher from Vedantu. And yes, a very good afternoon to all of you. You're not supposed to go anywhere guys because biology is still left. So you're done with physics, now it's bio and then it's going to be chemistry. Right? So today let us do the 90-minute non-stop revision on the very easy chapters of your exam that is going to happen tomorrow. I already have spoken a lot of I've already spoken a lot with all of you for your examination tomorrow. I'm sure that you guys are well prepared and everything is on place, but let us do one final revision. For your biology so that you're all set, and we'll be meeting again at 4:30 in the evening. So keep all your doubts ready. There were many of you who were asking that, sir, how do we post the doubts? So you're not supposed to post the doubts anywhere. You have to be ready with your doubts in the chat box and I will be answering all your doubts. I, Anup sir, Shilpi ma'am, we will be answering all your doubts for biology, physics and chemistry. So don't you worry about it. I hope you're all set. Let us do one final revision and be ready for the exam that is tomorrow. I guess only a very few hours. That's almost like 22 hours are left for your exam. Less than 22 hours. So these 22 hours, let us revise, let us learn and let us give our best. Right? Come on. So let's begin without any further delay. Let us quickly begin. What all are we going to do tomorrow? And here are a number of remotes. I don't know which works. Okay. So this one works. So let us begin first with the 2 markers. Right? And if you guys have any doubts, you can ask me right there in the chat. The chat is open right in front of me. So if you have any last minute doubts, whether it is on how do organisms reproduce, heredity, evolution or environment, you can ask me any of your doubts. The chat is right in front of me and I'll be more than happy to answer it. Right? Hello Achintya, hello Nandita, hello Sanyuri, right? Okay, so let's begin. So here is the first question, that according to a study, children with light colored eyes are likely to have parents with light colored eyes. On the basis of this information, can we say anything whether the light color is a dominant or recessive trait, why or why not? Okay, so F1 and F2 Mukund, I will be explaining, don't you worry. Yes, Sachil, I am in the studio. Now, tell me the answer to this. Hi Nancy. That based on the information that light colored children are likely to have light colored parents, can we say anything whether it is dominant or recessive? Can we, can we comment anything on it? Right? Actually not, because this information is not sufficient. We cannot predict because information is not sufficient. We can decide dominant or recessive trait if we have the data for at least 3 generations. More information is required. So those who are saying dominant, Rishabh, Fatima, Sachal, Devananta, Soumya, we cannot say. Very good, Rukmani. So we cannot say because we need information for at least 3 generations. Very good, Nandita. Right? Very good, Rukmani. We need information for at least 3 generations to say whether it is dominant or recessive. Right? So that is why we'll say that the information is not sufficient, and that is why we cannot say anything whether it is dominant or recessive. Very good, Nancy. You're absolutely right. Okay. So this is the question which is from the chapter Heredity and Evolution. Next question. Which method of raising a banana plant is the most suitable? So now what do you answer over here? Okay, energy is transferred in what form? We'll be coming to that form also, Hi-Fi team. Now you tell me which method of raising a banana plant is most suitable. Is this mode of reproduction sexual or asexual? So, right? Vegetative propagation, very good. It is asexual. Mostly we also use tissue culture for growing banana. So it is vegetative propagation. It is an asexual mode of reproduction. It is fast. You can choose the characters. What are the benefits? If you remember, when I had done the most expected questions on biology, I had told that benefits of asexual reproduction can definitely be asked. We even did a question that why is it beneficial? It is beneficial because it gives you quick results. It gives you desirable characters. right? It gives you quick results and desirable characters. So it is vegetative propagation. Now over here, I want you guys to focus on one thing which is very less focus, and that is the spelling of the word propagation. The spelling of the word propagation, please focus over here, otherwise you might lose half mark. You might lose half mark if you do not focus on the spelling. So please focus on the spelling over here. The plants can bear fruits and flowers earlier. They are genetically similar. They have lost the capacity to produce viable seeds and can be grown by this method. This point you can put if you are asked that why do they do vegetative propagation? Because these plants have lost the capacity to produce viable seeds. These plants have lost the capacity to produce viable seeds. Very good, Parvez. Very good for the response. Yes, Discovery Science, you are doing absolutely great. No, cutting is not very promoted for banana, because banana does not produce viable seeds, and that's why cutting cannot be done for banana. For banana, we do vegetative propagation where we use tissue culture. Tissue culture is used to grow banana using a callus, right? So that is how banana is grown. Please look at the spelling. Yes, Parvez, please look at the spelling, guys. The spelling is super important. Moving on, right? Which process of reproduction is followed by yeast? Can you tell me the name of the process? Hello, Chitra. Can you tell me the name of the process? Can you tell me the name of the process that is used for yeast? Yeast. Very good, Discovery Science. No, Rukmani. No, it is budding. Absolutely correct. It is budding. It is budding, right? So budding is the method. Budding is the method that is budding is the method that is used for reproduction by yeast. Also design an activity to observe this mode of reproduction in your school's laboratory. In your school's laboratory. Okay? Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Okay? So it is budding, and how can you do that? Callus. Okay, Nancy, I already explained you in the previous session what is callus. Callus is the tissue. Callus is the tissue with the desired characters which is used to grow a new plant, right? It is used to grow a new plant species. So callus is a group of tissue cells which is used to grow a new plant species. Double fertilization, I'll have to check Naman Sharma. Okay? More than me, guys, you should be well versed with your syllabus. It is just 22 hours left for your exam and you're asking me about the syllabus. It is a little scary. Okay? Guys, I want you all to help Naman over here. Please tell in the chat box, is double fertilization a part of your syllabus? Please tell it in the chat, is double fertilization a part of your syllabus? Hello, Tanveer. Right? Now, budding, dissolve sugar in water, add yeast to it and keep it in a warm place. After 2 hours, put a drop of yeast culture on a slide and observe under a microscope. You will see buds of yeast that are produced. So Naman, it is a part of your syllabus, right? Thank you so much, guys. This is how we all work together, right? So yes, you know the budding in yeast. You know budding in yeast. Yeast is a fungi that reproduces by budding. You know how the buds are developed in yeast, right? You know how the buds are developed in yeast. So yeast reproduces by budding. Drop of yeast, discovery of science. It means that you just put yeast in sugar solution, take a drop of that solution and observe it under the slide. That is the drop of yeast. Okay? So that is how we do it. F1 and F2 generation, Mukund. So the F1 generation is where in the progeny you're getting all in the entire progeny you're getting only one type of plants, that is all tall. And when you do selfing of F1, you get homozygous, heterozygous, homozygous, right? So the F1 is the first generation where you are crossing two homozygous parents. So when you are using parents with homozygous characters and you are crossing them, you get the first generation. Okay? That is the F1. Okay? Now, what will happen if all the deer gets hunted in the given food chain? So here you have got grass, deer and tiger. So if you remove all the deers, what will happen? What will happen if you remove all the deers? What will happen when you remove all the deers? Biomagnification is when the concentration of the pollutants increases at every tropic level. That is biomagnification. Guys, biomagnification, F1, F2, this we did all of this in the most expected questions. Why have you not seen that video? Please go and see that video. Please go and see that video. Absolutely correct, Nitin. You are absolutely correct. The tigers will die. Yes, Jaya Kritika, tigers will die. And yes, discovery science, the grass will increase. Out of ponds, forests, aquariums and crop fields, which are natural ecosystem. So now the second questions, out of pond, forest, aquarium and crop field, which is a natural ecosystem? Which of these is a natural ecosystem? Pond, trees, forest, ponds, forests, aquariums and crop field. Yes, very good, Naman Sharma. It is ponds and forests. Very good. Discovery science, Sayuri, absolutely right. It is ponds and forests. F2 generation ka genotype, it is 1:2:1. 1:2:1. Homozygous, 2 heterozygous and 1 homozygous. So homozygous tall, heterozygous tall and homozygous dwarf. Remy Jose, it is 1:2:1 is the genotype, 3:1 is the phenotype. ठीक है? Dihybrid cross, Rose, dihybrid cross is when we are doing. No, Naman, 3:1 is the phenotype. 3:1 is the phenotype. Phenotype means when you are seeing the external characteristics. Genotype is when you are seeing the genetic combination. Dihybrid cross is when you are studying two contrasting characters. That is dihybrid. Di means two. When you are studying two contrasting characters, that is dihybrid cross. In dihybrid cross, the phenotype is 9:3:3:1 and the genotype is very complex. You don't have genotypic ratio of F2. Remy, you don't have genotypic ratio of F2, so relax. It is quite complex. Okay? Now the tigers will die and forests and plants are natural ecosystem. How do sperms reach the female genital tract? Where does fertilization and implantation of the embryo take place? So talking about the first part of the question, how do sperms reach the female genital tract? What is mutation? It is a sudden change in the genetic combination. I'm sure Udagiri now only it has started paining. I don't know how I'm going to take the doubt session. How do sperms reach the female genital tract? So the sperms travel through the uterus. The sperms are released in the birth canal or the vagina. They travel through the uterus into the fallopian tubes, also called as the oviduct. Now let me write this answer over here, or let me at least make a flow chart for you guys. So the sperms, they are released into the vagina. From the vagina, they travel to the uterus, and from the uterus, they go into the fallopian tubes, also called as oviduct. Right? They have to travel through the cervix. Right? They have to travel through the cervix. So this is the first part. Where does fertilization occur? Now, if you know the female reproductive tract, which I'm sure you do, right? So this is a part, these are the fimbriae, here is the ovary, right? So this is a part which is called as the ampulla. It is called as the ampulla. Here the fertilization occurs. Right? So where does fertilization occur? Fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube. There is a region called ampulla where the sperm meets the ovum. And where does the implantation occur? So implantation occurs in the uterus. It occurs in the uterine wall. Right? Yes, Remy. Yes. Absolutely correct. Hi, Poonam. So the implantation occurs in the uterus. The fertilization takes place in the ampulla. Yes, Remy, is ischemic ampullar junction. You can also call it ampulla. And this is the pathway for the sperms. Any doubt about or around this question? Please ask right now. Let us do this way. Let us go question by question and let us solve the doubts. Right? Can't we write the fallopian tube only? Yes, you can write Uday. You can write, right? It occurs in the uterus where the plasma is provided to the zygote. Plasma. Okay. Strange, Nandita. Anyway. Okay, I'll repeat, Devendra Kumar. you can write only oviduct. So how do sperms reach the female genital tract? So the sperm fertilization is the oviduct or fallopian tube, and implantation occurs in the uterus. Double fertilization happens in plants, right? Anemone, double fertilization happens in plants, flowers. Okay? No, Anubis, no need to draw the diagram over here. No need to draw the diagram over here. Come on. Any other doubts? Any other doubts? Fallopian fertilization takes place. It is the same. Anubhuti, it is the same. Fallopian tube's other name is oviduct. Right? Okie dokie. The flow of energy in the tropic level is unidirectional. Yes, because it goes from the first tropic level to the next. It goes from primary consumer, it goes from producer to primary consumer to secondary consumer to tertiary consumer. That is how the flow of energy goes. It goes from sun to the producer, that is the green plants, and then it goes above. It goes higher, the tropic level. Please guys, let us focus on this question and then we'll move ahead. Twins, we'll talk about twins later. Anubis, no need to draw the flow chart. How twins are born, Nitin? So twins are born in two ways. One is if accidentally two ova are released from each ovaries, then you will get two unidentical twins, which are also called as fraternal twins. And if one zygote breaks into two or divides into two, you will get identical twins. Right? Important diagrams I'll be telling you in the doubt session today at 4:30. Difference between cross and self-pollination, Amrita, it is already done in the most expected questions. Please watch that video, guys. On Saturday only I have done a video on the most expected questions. Please do that. Himanshu, there are maximum of them who do not understand Hindi, and that is why I'm taking it in English. Right? Gargi, I already answered this. Right? Uterus is the part where the embryo develops. Hello Joel, hello. Come on, let's move ahead now. Where is my remote? Where did I keep the remote? Yeah, it's here. Come on, let's move ahead now to the next question. So sperms travels upwards through the uterus to the oviduct, blah 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 blah. This all we did. The zygote divides and becomes a multicellular embryo which gets fixed in the uterus. Right? Now let us move on to the ninth standard. I am already teaching. Radhe, I have already started with fundamental unit of life. Okay? Sir, 10% energy. Please explain what to write in this question. So, okay, now I'll do the 10% energy question. Many of you are asking me this question about the 10% energy. Now, let me tell you. So, whatever energy green plants get from the sun, they use that energy for their own metabolic processes. For photosynthesis, they will use energy. For transpiration, they will use energy. For translocation, they will use energy. For storing food, they'll use energy. For converting that food into, different uses, they will use that energy. So they use the energy, whatever they get from the sun, and whatever is left, that remaining energy, that reserve energy, they transfer it to the consumer. And how much is that energy? That energy is only 10% of what they have received. It is only 10% of what they have received. So if they have received 1000, they will give only 100. If they have received 100, they will give only 10. If they have received 10, they will give only 1. Right? So whatever energy they have received, out of that 90% is used for the metabolic processes and only 10% is transferred to the next tropic level. And that is the 10% law. Difference between prostate gland and seminal vesicles. So prostate gland is something that provides fluidity to the flowing sperms, and seminal vesicles provides the nourishment to the sperms. Right? Myometrium, endometrium, ectometrium, these are the layers of the uterus. Right? Chalo, biological magnification is that, okay, so who asked me biological magnification? Whoever asked, listen. So I told you, right, that only 10% energy is transferred. Now, in case of energy, it goes on reducing at every tropic level. But in case of chemicals, the chemical, pollutants, they start increasing at every tropical level, and that is called as biomagnification. So if there is a producer who has got polluted, when a herbivore eats that producer, the pollution or the pollutant concentration increases in the herbivore. When a carnivore eats this herbivore, the pollution concentration increases in the carnivore. So at every trophic level, the concentration of the pollutant is increasing, and that is what is called as biomagnification. Biomagnification. Okay? It is energy only, it is transferred in the form of heat. Okay? Come on. Now, why is F1 progeny always of tall plants when a tall plant is crossed with a short pea plant? Because tallness is dominant in the pea plant. How is F2 progeny obtained by self-pollination if F1 progeny different from, okay, how is F2 progeny obtained by self-pollination? This is the question. So, okay, let us see. I think there is some, error in the question. State a conclusion that can be drawn on the basis of this observation. So, the recessive character is expressed in F2 generation when two copies of recessive trait are present together. In F2 progeny, the dominant characters is also expressed along with the recessive character in the ratio of 3:1 respectively, where this is the phenotype. Now, I'll just explain you how this works. So, this is your phenotype. Right? So, you have got parental generation T, 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 T. When you cross them, you get F1 T, T. When you cross this, you get F2 TT, TT and TT. Why? Because from here you get T, right? So here it is 1:2:1. This is the genotype and this is the phenotype. Right? Difference between ovary and ovule. Anime. Ovary is a part of the pistil. Ovary, ripened ovary is only your fruit, and ovules are the gametes of the ovary. Right? Dominant gene. So, dominant is one which expresses itself. It is dominant. And recessive is one which is not expressed even though it is present. That is called recessive. See guys, it is very easy to define dominant. It is difficult to define recessive, and that is why I am telling you again and again, please watch the most expected questions video. Please watch. I have taken those questions where I have defined everything that you are asking over here, right? Whatever you are asking over here, everything I have defined. Please watch that video on the most expected questions of bio. Even law of segregation, law of dominance, law of independent assortment, everything I have explained. Sakshi, what you are asking is a chemistry question. Please ask Shilpi ma'am. Law of segregation, law of independent assortment, law of dominance, everything I have explained. Please go and watch. Right? Come on. So this is about F1, F2 and the parental generation and the monohybrid cross. Here we are talking about monohybrid cross. Right? Now, difference between pollination and fertilization. Again, very important. Very important. Pollination and fertilization. Please read it. Read it. Right? Sir, where are you tuition class? Radhe, I did not understand what are you asking. Define F1 and F2. So here, what are the key words? Keywords are progeny, keywords are self cross, keywords are dominant and recessive. Right? These are the important words. What is homogeneous pair? So if capital T is there, that is a homogeneous pair. If small t is there, that is a homogeneous pair. If big T small t is there, that is a heterogeneous pair. Right? Come on, please read it. Right? Law of segregation, that's what I'm telling you, Devendra. Law of segregation, law of independent assortment, law of dominance, everything I have explained in the most expected questions. Please go and watch that video, guys. It will hardly take some 40 minutes of your life, but they will really solve your 90% doubts. Okay, then sir, whether the placenta, yes, the placenta has to be pulled out. It very easily comes out. So law of segregation means the alleles get separated during the formation of gametes, right? Double fertilization. So in double fertilization, there is one female gamete and there are two male gametes. I'm explaining double fertilization. Please listen to me very carefully. What's the fraction of heterogeneous pair in F2? So there are two heterogeneous pair in F2. Capital T, small t, capital T, small t. There are two. Placenta and umbilical cord. Placenta is the tissue which is attached to the uterus. Umbilical cord is which is attached to the placenta and the fetus navel. Right, that is the umbilical cord that has to be cut. Yes, Bharat Sahu, please ask me. Double fertilization, I'll explain. In double fertilization, there are two male gametes and there is one female gamete. One male gamete and one female gamete, they fuse. Other male gamete fuses with the polar nuclei, and because there are two types of fertilizations happening, that is why it is called as double fertilization. Hello Shazia. Hello Shazia. Right? So in double fertilization, I'll explain you. In double fertilization, right? So there are two male gametes. One fuses with this and one fuses with this. So because there are two fusions happening, that is why it is double fertilization. Arpana, fetus is when all the body parts of the embryo are visible or easily identified, like the head, neck, torso, hands, legs. That is when you call it as a fetus. Before that you call it as an embryo, but only when you can identify all the body parts you will call it as a fetus, right? Dotted Arpana. So fetus is the second term, first term is embryo, right? Yes, Jitesh, there is double fertilization in the NCERT also. Sir, is ovule a female gamete itself or it contains female? It is a female gamete. Now, why did Mendel choose pea plant? This is a guaranteed question in the exam. Why did Mendel choose a pea plant? When fertilization happens, okay, Nitin. Okay, first let me explain this, then I'll go to double fertilization. Why did Mendel choose pea plant? So, first of all, pea plant are perennial, very easy to grow. They are perennial, they grow throughout the year, very easy to grow. They have 7 pairs of contrasting characters. They have got 7 different characters that can be studied. That is why he chose a pea plant. Very good, high five team. High five to you for that, right? Mendel's work I do not know, Bharat. This is guaranteed question in the exam. Guaranteed question in the exam, right? So they have a short lifespan, they are annual, they have contrasting characters, they reproduce a lot, they can be self-pollinated and cross-pollinated, and that is why hybridization is possible. Yes, Manthan, you have to do the 3 laws: dominance, independent assortment and segregation. You will have to do all of them. Yes, bisexual flowers, very good. So you guys know a lot of it. You already know a lot of it. Here are the 4 points. Please read them. Guaranteed question on Mendel and pea plant. Right? Okay, so Bharat Sahu, Gregor Johann Mendel, he was a monk. He studied the contrasting characters in pea plant, and that is when he could give the 3 laws of inheritance, and he is known as the father of genetics. Gregor Johann Mendel, this is his full name, Gregor Johann Mendel, right? Now, so these were the 4 reasons why he chose a pea plant, and he grew pea plant in his own backyard. He grew pea plant in his own backyard, right? Akash, I already explained double fertilization is because there are two male gametes fertilizing with the female ovule as well as with the female polar nuclei, because fertilization is happening two times. That is why it is called as double fertilization. DNA is a part of the chromosomes, right? Okay, the 7 characters, Hetvi, it is, I mean, I don't know all the 7. I don't know whether I remember them or not. I'll try. So pod shape, pod color, seed shape, flower position, then height, and there's one more, flower position and flower color. Yeah, I think these are the 7 characters. Okay, come on. Now, if a trait exists in 10% of the population of a asexually reproducing species and a trait B exists in 60% of the same population, which trait is likely to have arisen earlier? So, there is a population, and if a trait exists in 10% of that population and there is another trait that exists in 60% of the same population. So, which do you think has arisen earlier? Definitely, that's very, very easy. So, in asexually reproducing species, we know that there are nearly no changes or very minimal changes in the characters. Generally, the progeny of asexually reproducing species are similar to the parent species in morphology as well as traits. According to the given situation, if A trait is only 10%, which means it is less number as compared to B. If a trait is expressed in large amount of population, that means it has been in the population for a longer time. So you guys are right, it is the B one. So DNA is a part of the chromosomes, and I guess one of you asked me some question. Yeah, what is the difference between gene and allele? Please listen to me very carefully. Gene is a segment of the DNA. Gene is a segment of the DNA. Whereas alleles are alternative forms of gene. Alleles are alternative forms of gene. Pikachu is OP. You are asking questions from chemistry. We are doing bio here. Yes. So gene is a segment of the DNA. Alleles are alternative forms of gene. Okay, Manthan, there is no genotype of F1. There will be genotype of F2, which is 1:2:1. Because in F1, all are heterozygous. All are heterozygous tall. That is why there will be no genotype of F1. Right? Trait is one that is, it is alternative forms of characters. So one character will have two traits, like tallness is a character, or height is a character. Tall or dwarf are the traits. Tall or dwarfs are the traits. No, genes and characters are not the same. Genes make the characters. Based on the gene, the characters are decided. Right? Yes, Arman, you are right. Okay, after the egg is released from the ovary, it lasts only for a day. So, okay, I'm sorry, I could not read it completely. I'll just go a little above. Okay, so Gauri has a doubt that after the egg is released from the ovary, it lasts only for a day. So, is there only one day in a month? Yes, you are right. That is the 13th and the 14th day. The 13th and the 14th day where the egg is released. Okay. Nitin, no ratio for F1. All F1 will be heterozygous tall. Right? Okay, Bharat, you're talking about the Punnett square. You're talking about the Punnett square where we are doing the dihybrid cross. So let me tell you one thing. When you're doing dihybrid cross, guys, you will not be asked the genotype because it is very complex. You will not have the genotype of dihybrid cross. You will only have the phenotype, which is 9:3:3:1. 9:3:3:1. Okay, Gamer's point, it's a very big complex ratio of genotype of dihybrid cross. You will not be asked that, so please ignore it. Right? Now, this is very nice. This is from environment chapter. environment chapter, very nice. When the government banned the use of poly bags in Delhi, the vegetable grocers found it difficult as it affected their sales. The market committee held a meeting and decided to spread awareness about the harmful effect of poly bags. Why will you convince people that plastics are harmful? Obviously because they are non-biodegradable. What alternatives of polythene bags do we have which are eco-friendly? Jute bags, cotton bags, paper bags. Not many people in Delhi have stopped using polythene bags even though they are officially banned. How can schools inoculate environmental values in the students? By creating awareness. Thank you so much, Bharat. God bless you always. Explain 2 factors that are responsible for determining the size of the population. Very easy, interesting question. So I think you can go on writing lengths for this. I don't think we need to talk anything about it. First of all, Sophia, spelling of meiosis. Guys, please focus on spellings. Just knowing the concepts is not going to help you. Sophia, meiosis, mitosis. I'll tell you. Very simple. Very simple, I'll tell you. Mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis is growth and repair, where 46 remains 46. Suppose you scratched your skin, new skin forms, mitosis. Each cell of that skin is going to have 46 chromosomes, right? Meiosis is for gametes, where 46 becomes 23, which means if you are a boy, each cell of your body has 46 chromosomes, but only your sperm cell will have 23 chromosomes. If you are a girl, each cell of your body will have 46 chromosomes, but your ovum will have only 23 chromosomes. So formation of sperm and having sperm only 23 chromosomes is because of meiosis. Formation of ovum and ovum having only 23 chromosomes is a result of meiosis. Whereas everything else in the body, any cell formation of the body is mitosis. Right? Difference between genotype and phenotype. Me too. Genotype is the genetic combination. Phenotype is the physical appearance. What you see, tall, dwarf, this is phenotype. The genetic combination is genotype, right? Remember, genotype, genetic combination. Phenotype, physical appearance. Okay? Chalo. Moving on. Sophia, please do the spelling day. I don't want you guys to lose even quarter mark for, spellings. Why did Mendel experiments to find inheritance of 2 traits? That is when, after studying monohybrid cross, just to confirm, he did dihybrid cross. In 11th and 12th, you will also have back cross, test cross, back cross. All of that you will have in 11th and 12th standard biology. Yes, Ria. Which organ maintains every organ maintains the number of chromosomes except for sperm formation. Okay? Now coming on to the last, the 4 markers. Let us do the 4 markers now. Right? Thank you so much, guys. You are helping each other so much. That really makes me feel very, very happy. Okay? Okay. Size of the human population is a cause of concern. The rate of birth rate and death in a given population will determine. Reproduction is a process, blah, 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 blah. What is the result of reckless female feticide? If people go on killing the female child, the sex ratio gets disturbed. Can anyone tell me what is the sex ratio? What is sex ratio? Sex ratio is the number of females per 1,000 males. What is sex ratio? Number of females per 1,000 males. Okay. Then what contraceptive methods change the hormonal balance of the body? Contraceptive pills. Contraceptive pills change the hormonal balance of the body. Right? Then common size of sexual maturation in boys and girls. So in boys and girls, what are the common signs? That is the change of voice. Change of voice is a common sign in both. Appearance of acne, then hair in the armpit and the pubic region. All of these are the common signs, right? So That's what I told you. Please read. Before my throat just goes for a toss, please read. Please explain how to make F2 generation in dihybrid cross. It is a complex process, guys. F2 generation, Punnett square will not be asked. Please, please, please. F2 generation, Punnett square will not be asked for dihybrid ratio. So relax, 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 relax. Right? So how does creation of variation in species promote the survival? Now, because variation helps them to deal with the change in the environment. Whenever there is a change in the environment, the organisms, those who bring a variation in themselves, they survive. Those who do not bring a change in themselves, they do not survive. So bringing variation is a trait to survive the fittest. You know, they say survival of the fittest. Darwin said survival of the fittest. That is when an organism brings a variation in itself, only then it is able to survive the change in the environment. For example, they say that dinosaurs died because the earth's temperature started rising. Now, if the dinosaurs would have brought a variation in themselves by which they could have survived the rise in temperature, today we would see dinosaurs around us. But because they could not bring a change in their self, because they could not bring a variation in their body, that is why they could not survive. Law of segregation, independent assortment, Kratika, I've already explained. Please watch that session, guys. It is super important and it is going to solve half of your doubts in life. Right? Chalo. Give reasons for the appearance of a new combination of characters in the F2 progeny of dihybrid cross. It is because here we are studying two pairs of contrasting characters, and that is why we see a new combination. Now, this is very, very important. This is very, very important. Please pay attention. F1 have round and yellow seeds. Okay? F1 have round and yellow seeds. That is Y, R, right? In F1, this is F1. So what are the different types of gametes that I'll get? Y, R. Okay? Now, so as a result, only dominant alleles are expressed. Thus, all the progenies in F1 have showed dominant trait, while the recessive traits are still present. When the F1 is crossed and you get F2, you get round yellow, ground green, wrinkled yellow and wrinkled green in a ratio of 9:3:3:1. This is the phenotype. This shows that expression of characters is not dependent on chance of being yellow or green, but it is actually independent. And this is the principle of independent assortment. This is your law of independent assortment. Fine, this is your law of independent assortment. ठीक है? Got it? Please read it. The allele is alternative form of gene. Bioconversion is conversion of one form of energy to other. That is called bioconversion. ठीक है? Okay. Moving on. Shakuntala, I already did it 10 minutes back. I already did it. ठीक है? So that's it, guys. That is it now. Okay. Now, for all your doubts and anything else that you want to ask, I'll be amoeba, leishmania, everything. I am coming back at 4:30 in the evening. I'm coming back at 4:30 and I will be, I will be addressing all your doubts. So, Bloomsburg has already answered that amoeba shows irregular division during binary fission, whereas leishmania shows a definite orientation during binary fission, right? Okay. Anything else? This is the non-stop marathon. Come on. Anything else? Triple fusion, no, they will not be asking about triple fusion. During gamete formation, one respective, yes, this is independent assortment, discovery of science. Come on. What else do you want to ask? Any doubts? Any doubts? Transverse is this. Dominance is in a particular generation or in a particular species, one trait is expressed. The one which is expressed, that is called as dominant, and one which is not expressed but still present. It is very important that when you are defining recessive, you write it is not expressed but still present. These three words, but still present, is super important when you are writing about recessive. No bryophyllum shows vegetative propagation by leaves, spelling of propagation. Paper presentation is super important, guys. Paper presentation is super important. That will help you to get, that will really help you to the examiner to ignore your silly mistakes and give you marks. Syngamy is fusion of two cells. Syngamy is fusion of two cells. Okay? So there are three laws. Yes, Kabhi Shivam, I am in Vedantu office. Double fertilization I already explained. Carta I already explained that when two male nuclei fuse, one with the female nuclei and second with the polar nuclei, this is called as double fertilization. Blood group mein kya? What do you want to know in blood group, Gaurav? Three laws of Mendel-Zuda. One is dominance, one is segregation, and one is independent assortment. Dominance shows that one is dominant, second is recessive. Independent assortment tells me that they are not dependent on anyone. They are expressed independently. They are not dependent on one another. And segregation tells me that at the time of gamete formation, the alleles, they get separated, right? Examples of root, stem, and leaf. So leaf is bryophyllum. Root is carrot radish, and your stem is ginger potato. Why are you, what should I do to yourself if you do not get 40 on 40 discovery science? You're supposed to do nothing. You're supposed to be happy that your exam went so well and you did so good. Copper T comes under mechanical barrier. It's a mechanical barrier, right? Phenotypic, okay, gamer, F1 में there is going to be no phenotype or genotype because all of them are going to be heterozygous tall, right? Color in the diagram, don't use colors, keep it just with pencil. Alleles, Rukmani, they are the alternative forms of gene. Name of processes. So there are two types of processes in amoeba. One is binary fission, one is multiple fission. Amoeba undergoes multiple fission under unfavorable conditions like lack of water. It creates a hard covering called cyst around itself, and multiple amoebae are produced within that cyst. The cyst breaks open and all the daughter amoebae are released. What is a skin problem? Sir, ozone depletion is caused by CFC only, chlorofluorocarbons. They break the ozone molecule. They break the ozone O3. Sexual reproduction gives you a variety. That is the benefit. The chances of success are higher in sexual reproduction. Yes, it might. Sir, I have done everything biology from A to Z for tomorrow exam, but even I'm not able to make a good male reproductive part. So what you can do is discovery of science. See, it is nobody is expecting you to be, Leonardo da Vinci or someone who is like very. Nobody is expecting you to be an artist when you're drawing the diagram. Just that the diagram should be easily understood. It should be legible. Nobody is expecting you to be, someone who draws like a painting. No, just draw clean diagrams. I've already given you the tips of how to draw the diagram. Your diagram should be in a box all the labeling should be one below the other. There should be a bar below where you have labeled your diagram. For example, I tell you, just 1 minute. So, suppose you are drawing the diagram of an amoeba. Right? So, this is how your diagram should look. This is how your diagram should look. Even if you are labeling on that side, so it should be one below the other. Right? Don't label like this, that your one label is here, one label is here, one label is here. No. Make it one below the other. Even if you have to put an arrow, suppose you want to label this, so keep it like this. Okay? That is how you should make your diagrams. Heterozygous and homozygous. Primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, decomposer, hi-fi team. That is cytoplasm division, nuclear division. Cytoplasmic division has one, and nuclear division. Sepals and petals. Sepals are protection, petals are to attract the insects. Okay, progesterone and estrogen, these are the female hormones. Female hormones. Yes, O is universal donor, AB is universal recipient. Absolutely right. If reproduction is only for 4 marks, do reproductive health. Sex determination is super important, and female reproductive system is super important. Calyx, corolla, no, discovery science. Calyx, corolla, ulta kar diya hai aapne. Petals are corolla, sepals is calyx. You have done it ulta, discovery science. Copper T is a mechanical method. Regeneration and fragmentation. Regeneration is seen in lizard. Fragmentation is seen in Spirogyra. When you can regenerate a broken organ, right? Regeneration is not reproduction. Fragmentation is a form of reproduction. Female hormone, estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen helps to, maintain the pregnancy. No, progesterone is to maintain the pregnancy. Estrogen is for secondary sexual characters. Pollen grains and ovule. Pollen grains is the male gamete. Ovule is the female gamete. Seminal vesicle and prostate gland. I already told you, one provides fluidity, one provides nourishment. Yeast spore formation, no. Rhizopus or bread mold does spore formation. Ferns do spore formation. Food web is, grass. Grass is eaten by grasshopper also. It is eaten by deer also. Deer is eaten by a lion also. Deer is eaten by a tiger also. Then grasshopper is eaten by a lizard also. It is eaten by a frog also. So that will be a food web. Again, they are supporting parts discovery science. Right? Seminal vesicles provide nourishment, prostate glands provides fluidity, and the result is semen, S-E-M-E-N. Give reasons for appearance of new combination of characters. Just now we discussed because F1 has 2 characters, one is dominant, one is recessive, and when we cross F1, a new character is expressed. Not at all. Om, you're going to do awesome. You're going to do really very good. ठीक है. IUCD is for naming. It's for naming. When you're naming the elements or acha, IUCD is for binomial nomenclature. You know, when you have the genus name and then the species name, like Homo sapiens, H capital S small, it has to be italicized. If you're writing it, make sure that you underline it. Ozone formation, they will not ask. Ozone formation is when the oxygen combines with atomic oxygen. When the molecular oxygen combines with atomic oxygen, it forms O3, that is ozone. Intrauterine contraceptive device is copper T. ठीक है, already done Rukmani, already done. Ovary is common name for flowers and female reproductive system. Ovary is not common name for flowers. Female reproductive system ka part is ovary. Fruit is a ripened ovary. Biomagnification is when the concentration of pollutant increases at every tropic level. Role of scrotum. Scrotum scrotum is an external sac that holds the pair of testes. It maintains a temperature 2 to 3 degrees less than the body temperature, which is optimum for production of sperms by the testes. 4 causes of age: sharing of needles, sharing of syringes, sexual contact, and transfer of blood transfusion. No difference, Afif, it's the same. Loop and copper T, they are just different shape, they are the same, they have the same function. Yes, it's a thermoregulator. ठीक है, चलो. Which gland results in puberty? Testes in males, ovaries in females. ठीक है. Germ cells and gametes is same. Sperm is male, ovum is female. No different. Testes singular, plural. TES is plural, TS is singular. ठीक है, चलो. So with that, guys, I would like to end it over here. In 60 minutes, I think we have done the 3 chapters. Right? I'll again be meeting you in the evening where we'll be taking the last minute doubts. If you have anything else, you can connect with me on Instagram. I'll give you my Insta handle where throughout the day you can ask me doubts. I'll try my best to address all of them. Excuse me. That's my Insta handle, guys. You can send me your doubts over here. Right? So that's it, guys. All the very best. Do great. I'm sure you are well prepared. है ना? You're well prepared. I'm absolutely sure about it. Make yourself, make your family, and make us proud. You're going to do really very well. Stay calm, stay composed. 10th standard exam is not the end of the world. The world is going to exist after that also. The world is existing before that also. So it is not the end of the world. Do your best. You're going to do great. Okay, I'll see you in the evening. God bless you. Keep reading your NCERT and let us meet in the evening again. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you. Chalo. Tada. Bye bye. Go and study now.